How's it going today, guys? Ooh, I just want to get on here to say that if you don't ever make time for it, you'll never have time for it. And I know that most of my videos can seem pretty redundant because it can be main categories with a bunch of subcategories, and some days those subcategories can be main categories, but regardless, they all compound off of each other. Because, again, if you don't ever make time for it, you'll never have time for it. And the thing is, because every day is the real thing. You're only getting older. So you won't be as agile as you used to be. You get what I'm saying? And I understand that. I feel, oh, I'm 50, but I feel like I'm 20. I get all that, but feeling 20 and being 20 is two different things. You get what I'm saying? And they say when you're younger, when you're younger, you look like your environment. You can kind of blame everything for your parents and the people around you. But once you start getting older, you start looking like your decisions. You hit by almost 30, you start looking like your decision making. You can no longer sit there and be like, because this happened or because this person left, this person walked out. You get what I'm saying? It's the older you get, the harder and harder it is to shift the blame off of what you've done or didn't do. They also say, I love this one right here. When you're young, everything is like a pencil. It's easy to erase. The older you get, the more it starts to get like a pen. That ink starts getting hard to erase. Even if you use whiteout to cover up the ink, it's like gluing a cup of glass back together. That once it's on there, a cover up is not the same as it being erased, because you know it's there. You get what I'm saying? So just to touch back on what I was saying in the beginning, again, if you never make time for it, you'll never have time for it. Why? Because there's always something to do, always friends to help, social media, co-workers, all this stuff. Life is just, it's so much things that demand our attention. And if we never get to a point where we say, yo, let me start prioritizing where my focus goes, your focus is always going to go all over the place. I say it very often, but again, if we take the time to actually look at the time it takes to take care of our life, we'll realize we don't have as much time for nonsense as we allow it. You know what I'm saying? When you real deal start thinking about your day, like let's say tomorrow's on its way, you start getting yourself ready for tomorrow. The minute you decide to stay out late, now you're waking up the next morning trying to do everything you should have done earlier, whether it's getting gas, getting clothes out, having the clothes folded, some meat that you could have had thawed out by the following day, but you didn't do it till the same day. It seems so small and so mundane, but it's very, my goodness. If you don't ever make time for it, you'll never have time for it. And that can be with anything. Because you either spend time or invest time. You either spend time or invest time. So again, the car. It's hard to make time for it because you always got something to do. Cleanliness. Sitting down and journaling. Sitting down and processing your emotions. Let's say your spouse wants more time to connect with you. Whatever it may be, if you never make time for it, you'll never have time for it. And here's the thing. A lot of times when we don't ever stop to make time for something, tragedy is what usually makes us focus on the thing that we know we should have been making time for. So if, let's say, you got a big project due, and you wait until the last minute knowing you had it due, and now you're all panicking, and now you're like, man, I don't want to fail. And this, again, to compound on other videos, that's what I be saying, like when people be sitting there trying to use the truth that holds them back versus the truth that sets them free. In most cases, when people do that, they're trying to roll with the truth that holds them back. Oh, but you don't know what I got going on. And then when you actually analyze these people's lives, they're laying down watching TV for most of the day. And then it's one thing to enjoy TV, but it's another thing to use TV as an escape from how life is beating you up, quote unquote. You get what I'm saying? I think they call that, I may have mentioned on the video before, but revenge bedtime. But it doesn't necessarily refer to bedtime, but whenever you get time to yourself, you take that time to make up for time that you lost. Instead of investing the time, you spend it. So that's where a lot of the doom scrolling comes in at. That's where a lot of the just mindlessly watching TV for hours, calling up everybody. That's where most of that comes from. Playing a game for hours upon hours upon hours. That's where most of that comes from. And it can look like you're taking a break. It can look like you're just enjoying yourself, but in reality, as soon as it's like everything is just exhausting you. But that's enough for that's enough of that. That's for another video, but not a real deal. When you have the time to take care of those things that you usually keep talking about, you go try to make up for lost time. Oh, I didn't get to hang out with my friends last time, so I'll go there. No, you got a deadline on something important though. And then again, what happens? Let's say, boom, it's not until your spouse finally says, yo, man, you're never making time for me. I'm finna skate. And then you make time for it. Oh, man, I'll get to my oil change. But then the oil start getting bad. Then you say, okay, oil change. You get what I'm saying? You want to start attacking that stuff when you actually have time for it, not when tragedy forces you to look at it. It's the same with God. We can be praying for God for something, and he's like, yo, okay, just sit down and do this, and then we never sit down. And then when God gets involved, that car that you like so much, he causes you a total loss, a full-on crash. That relationship you like so much, he causes it to fall through the floor. Because you're praying for something, and he's trying to show you, yo, like this, do it like this. And you're like, you're never taking the time to sit down and listen. He's always speaking, but there's so much noise going on. Okay, the car is in the way, and he's praying for me to intervene. I gotta literally intervene in a way that's gonna get his attention, and it's gonna hurt. That car, whatever it may be, the music possibly, whatever it may be, the job. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you never make time for it, you'll never have time for it. Because as you get older, man, life just keeps going. Maybe you get a family, maybe you get a spouse, whatever it may be, but it's not like the responsibilities and stuff just start slowing down. It starts picking up, man. Have a blessed day.